let's have a beautiful experience. In this video, we're going to talk about wet dreams, how to achieve them, the science of it, and how to naturally raise your testosterone and your human growth hormone. It's a beautiful thing. You gotta love it. All right, before we get started here, please do me a huge favor. Please ring the bell, subscribe to the channel. Of course, make sure if you like this content, give me the Art to Fonzarelli thumbs up like so I say hey, and make sure you follow me on my social media. I go by Jesus_Detroit on my Instagram, Snapchat, I'm YOUNGDAYGO. And that's right, you know what we're all about here in the BCC, the Big Cock Consciousness, the Big Cock Collective, where I help you manifest a bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and harder penis, help you naturally raise your HGH and your testosterone. I'm a spiritual guide and a mentor here to expand your mind and increase your size. So without further ado, I'm here to tell you about some wet dreams. And yes, it feels good to be back, baby. And here we go. We got a nice clean whiteboard flow. And, you know, of course, we got to start out with some art. So, you know, make sure you bear with me right here. It's been a minute, man. I miss you guys. And this is a very near and dear subject because if you're in a good practice with, you know, what we're all about here in the BCC, wet dreams are just like a byproduct of what this is. Wet dreams. Boom. I want to make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, it looks like it. And I'll add a couple, you know, drip, and then, you know what, why not? You know what I mean? And then make sure we'll put a nice, you know, half crescent moon over here. And, you know, maybe a nice cloud. And a star. You know, just to kind of make the artwork, just make it, you know, magical for you guys. And anyways, so when we're talking about wet dreams, it all comes down to, you know, like I say, what I preach here in the BCC, which is semen retention. We're talking about, you know, testosterone-driven exercises, and we're talking about having a practice where you don't necessarily, you know, waste your seed by ejaculating daily. And, you know, I know that might sound, you know, far-fetched for some, but a lot of people are starting to see and believe what you can achieve by, you know, charging your chi. And, you know, basically, you know, getting in touch with yourself and not wasting your seed. So the first thing I'd say we're going to write on the magic board here, you know, about chi charging. I'm going to say let's start with the exercise, because before we even get into all that, you know, edging and whatnot, let's like take it to, you know, the ground up of what I go through in a day to make this actually happen. Because, you know, if I had dreams where it was not in my control where I felt this, and I have dreams where I can actually control this. So when you're going through the day, you know, you want to make sure that you're doing the things to charge up your testosterone, your HGH. And I'd say you want to start with a good form of exercise. And, you know, what I like is, you know, a lot of testosterone-driven, you know, HGH flowing cardio. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, like a whole, you know, type of, you know, multiple mile type of cardio, running, that kind of thing. We're talking manual labor, like, you know, where you're a guy that it's like digging a ditch, a guy that's using an axe, a guy that's swinging a hammer. These are all things that are going to naturally release testosterone. And, you know, I spoke about this in other videos. But the one thing that I've been doing and I've been really, you know, finding profound results with is the kettlebell swing. And I don't do it the traditional, just like, you know, method of, you know, I don't know what traditional is. Like, people just do like a couple sets or whatever. To me, I find the best way to use a kettlebell is to swing it without hurting yourself, of course. and just really being able to get deep and just lift it up and go down and just be able to really engage your pelvic floor. I like to squeeze out Kegels while I'm doing it. You know, I'm sure like I can teach you more hands-on. Again, you know, if you get at me in the BCC and you know, you really follow me, I'll teach you, you know, how to properly do it, or to at least the way that I go. And it's definitely worth the growth, because you're swinging this thing around, you will notice yourself being more aroused a lot easier. And you know, if you utilize, you can utilize using a cock ring while you do this, if you feel the need, you know, just to give yourself some extra pump down there. You can also, like I said, squeeze out some Kegels while you're doing this. So when you're doing, you know, like a 20-minute exercise or whatever, I'm swinging that the kettlebell, you know, you want to make sure you're getting that sweat dripping, because that's how you know that you're doing it right. And, you know, like I said, you can achieve this not just through the kettlebell swing, but through manual labor. And, you know, I'd say that you kind of want to stay away from, you know, like just brisk, you know, even like Stairmaster type exercise. Not to say that I don't love the Stairmaster, because, I mean, that's something that I do every now and then when I want to really get the cardio fat burn thing going. But I would say that you want to be able to get a cardio that's more animalistic. But the Stairmaster, you know, I mean, the fact that, you know, when I do it a different way. You know, I'm always flexing and stepping, and, you know, that's a whole nother topic of discussion in itself. But like I said, a nice exercise where you're charging your chi, getting that testosterone released is key. So another thing, since we're done talking about, you know, the basic exercises, we're going to talk about the creme de la creme, and I find that it's the most important key to this whole, you know, the whole magic of this, and that is the edging. So let me write that down too, because this is a, you know, this is an important point here. You want to really talk about edging, and I'll put like a star with that, because this one is really important. And I always say edge before bed. I find that is one of the best keys, especially when you're going to want to release a wet dream, because instead of, you know, ejaculating, if you get into the practice of utilizing the chi and sending it up, you know, your chakras, and putting it into your muscles, putting it into your youth, putting it into your hair, putting it into everywhere that you care, that you want it to go, instead of just wasting your seed and letting it go. This is something that you're going to be able to just, you know, be releasing a dream. And to me, when it comes out in a dream, it doesn't feel like you wasted it, because as you get into the edging practice, you know, I'm talking that you want to go at least, you know, 3 days without, you know, ejaculating. I feel like that is definitely a good start. That might sound like, you know, that's crazy. I can't go 3 days without coming. But I mean, this is not for somebody that is in that mindset. This is for somebody that understands that you can utilize this for something better than just, you know, wasting your seed. I mean, you got people that, you know, that want to come so bad, they're not even worried about having a, you know, a boner. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you're ever in a situation, you know me, I ramble like a monkey in a tree. Forrest Gump analogy. You know, I have to keep it flowing. But what we're talking about is, you know, like if you're ever in a situation that, you know, you're trying to have, you know, you're having sex with a partner or whatever, and you're just not all there mentally, like you just, you know, you're trying to force it to happen. I'd say walk away from that. Being a young bro, young type of, yeah, man, let's get laid, you know, type of person with that mindset where you got to have, where you, basically you want people to, you know, to appreciate that you exist because you get laid. If you have that mentality where you don't feel validated unless you're, you know, having sex on a day-to-day, then that's something that, you know, you're just going to want to ejaculate any which way that you can. You're like, I'm coming one way or another. And to me, that's a wasted experience. You know, I just feel that sex to me really happens kind of like right here. Like it's a connection that you feel with a partner. And really, it's about being comfortable in your own body. And that is really the key to sex, the key to this whole practice. I mean, you got to be comfortable in who you are. And like I said, man, we're all made, you know, from the stars. Whatever's inside of me is inside of you. It's inside the bloom. And you can't let anything, you know, stop you from being you. So whatever you got to do, you do it. Boom, boom. So what we're talking about here is just getting out of your own way. And you know me with the Wu Wei flow, you know, the path of least resistance is kind of just you know, allowing yourself to just say yes to what feels right and say no to what doesn't. And like I said, if you're in a situation where you're not, you know, lined up properly, I mean, why even force it? You know what I mean? Sex should not be forced. You shouldn't have to use stimulants or any. I'm thinking of I don't know why I thought of that. Robert De Niro, you know, analyzed this when he was talking about when he couldn't get a hard on, and he went all the way to Florida so he could talk to Dr. Sobel and say, you know, like he was basically trying to do whatever to get a boner. He's like, you went all the way from New York to Florida just because you get a hard, just because you didn't get a hard on. I'm sorry, man. You know, I'm ruining the joke, but you know what I'm getting at, man. Anything that makes you do this is something that's doing right anyways, because the smile is divine. It's made inside the mind. And we're talking about, you know, just even a silly movie like Analyze This, where, you know, Robert De Niro was so motivated to get a boner, he went all the way to Florida just to talk to his doctor. And I think that is pretty cool that, you know, he didn't want to agree with doing the stimulants. Not to say that some people might be doing them and not, you know, saying, but be as it may, the best way to have sex is to not rely on any type of stimulants other than what you have inside. And that really is what my practice is all about. You know, when you have a good sexual chi, a good sexual charge, you're going to be able to just rely strictly on yourself, and you're going to be able to enjoy, you know, the moment of sex, not just so much of, I gotta just take a drug to go have sex, because you're turning it into something else at that point. And I find that a lot of people that claim to be a sex addict, it's like, you know, where's the sex addiction start and where does it fall apart? Because is it the Viagra or the Cialis that's causing you to be a sex addict? Is it a steroid cycle that's causing you to be a sex addict? I mean, I'm just saying, you take away that, where are we at? You know what I mean? So is it the drugs that's helping you be a sex addict, or is it more of an ego problem where you're looking for the validation of, yeah, I get laid, you know, type of mentality? And that's just something, that's a whole nother topic for a discussion. And you really got to look to yourself about what you want to have anyways. Like I said, when we're talking about this, what my whole process of having a wet dream here, I mean, honestly, it's just as good as having sex in real life, if not better, because you don't have to obviously worry about, you know, any unwanted pregnancies, and you can be doing things in a magical realm of things that might not be available in this realm yet. You know what I mean? I don't rule out any possibility. I feel like anything is possible. So when you're in that dream state, you can do some extreme cool things, and that is something that I want to help you achieve. You're going to be able to merge your fantasy with your reality and be able to have it in the dream life. So when we get into that, let's first talk about, you know, like I just rambled about chi charging, so I'll just kind of write that on there. You know, basically a chi charge is, you know, you want to at least be able to hold it in, you know, 3 days, you know, before you come. You know what I mean? The longer the better. And Montauk Chi has an age chart. If you want to follow that type of thing, you can look it up. Basically, anything like, I'm trying to even think about what it was. Somewhere in your 20s, it's like basically like every 2 days. By the time you're in your 30s, it's like every 3 days. By the time you get to your 60s, it's like basically once a month is when you want to ejaculate. And, you know, this guy's Asian. I always take the chart and I just, you know, cut it right in half. And, you know, you don't have to necessarily be a 60-year-old that's only ejaculating once a month. I feel that ejaculation is somewhat, you know, part of this whole process. It's just not wasting your seed. And I find that having sex, you can actually, you know, charge your chi when you have a proper, you know, proper intentions behind it with the proper partner. More or less just in here, you know, I mean, even if you're coming every day with a partner, you guys can utilize each other's energy to charge each other's chi, if you kind of understand that, you know, whole belief. And, you know, people that, you know, that are really connected, you know, you can see that in them, and that is something that is definitely special. But anyways, we're talking, you know, sex addicts and chi charging. I mean, I know this is kind of a lot. I'm going to get into the, you know, to the meat of this, what we're talking about here. You know what I mean? And what we're talking about is how to actually have a wet dream. And basically, if you're somebody that doesn't acknowledge that you dream every night, you're going to have to at least entertain that as possible and understand that there's nothing wrong with you. You just got to allow the dreams, allow yourself to be a dreamer, and learning how to sleep is definitely key to this. I'd say if you can sleep on your back, that is the best case scenario, because that's where you're tripping the most DMT. Joe Rogan, you know what I'm talking about, and you ain't got to snort for it, jab a vein for it. All you got to do is sleep, and you're able to release that DMT and be able to really get into those astral realms and dream realms, and this is where you can achieve what we're talking about here. So, obviously, with dreaming, there's different states. And, the lucid dream is the creme de la creme that you want to be in to really achieve this feeling. And, let's go ahead and write that down. Give me a minute. Like I got going. I'm sorry. It's been a minute since I've been back with you guys. And I really want you guys to, feel this. So when we're talking about dreaming and dream states, the lucid being where you're actually able to be, okay, I'm in a dream right now, where you acknowledge this. And when you're in that case, that is the best case scenario to be able to, do whatever turns you on. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to have whatever partner you want to manifest in your life. You'll be able to have sex with them right there, or you'll be able to have sex with yourself, which is like what I'm able to do. And I'm going to tell you how I did that from the sleep paralysis zone, which is like the scary zone, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And we're talking about, like the sleep paralysis, like where you feel afraid that, you can't move. You feel like Morpheus in the Matrix, or you feel like Neo in the Matrix when he has the peanut butter mouth, like, what good is a phone call, Mr. Anderson, if you can't speak? And he's like, and you can't move, and you have that feeling that, sometimes there could be somebody coming for you, like in that zone. Sleep paralysis, there's definitely some magic in this, and I'm really learning how you can kind of jump that level into the lucid dream. And I was able to do that and actually ejaculate the other night in a profound way. So like I said, I went out right down. Let's see what I got. Dream. Right here, we'll go with dream states. Lucid. And then sleep paralysis. I know we're not getting graded here, but you get the idea. So basically, you want to be able to jump from this to this. And I don't know if you can really see that, but anyways, we're talking about going from sleep paralysis to lucid, and this is something that is definitely takes a lot of practice. You got to be a sleep samurai to really get into this. And what I can preach about is learning how to not be afraid in that zone, because if you're afraid, that's where you can make scary things manifest. The most important thing is to just remember that nothing can hurt you. Everything everything is an illusion anyways, so you just got to kind of just let it be. And you can either let the dream take you and have it be a scary experience, or you can just kind of just let it go, and you're going to just go with the flow and be able to do whatever you want. What I always try to do when I'm in that sleep paralysis is you try to kind of get up out of your bed. And sometimes I'm able to actually get out of my bed and, walk out of my house. And when you do that, you just walk yourself into kind of a lucid state. I wouldn't say it's the pure lucid state where everything's just free flowing, because it kind of feels like there's a little bit more rules to it. But when you're able, once you walk out of your bed, you can kind of walk into a more lucid state, and that's where you can manifest things that you want to do. And that's where I turn into a giant. Like, that's my go-to, and have my, like I say, we're all about having that huge piece of meat swinging at your knees, throbbing to your pecs, making you your best. You know what we're talking about here. We're saying about being a giant god of love, not really worrying about the little gremlins at your feet, just having that huge piece of meat that you're able to just, give it a kiss if you want. And that's what I did, man. I'm able to just pop that thing right up and, you know, just pull on it, make it huge, make it extra beefy and girthy, and then just be able to suck yourself. You're basically able to suck yourself off in a dream. And you wake up coming so hard, and that is something that's just amazing, man. Like you basically, it's like you literally suck yourself off, and you wake up with a huge like flood of, you know, of you got a flood of semen all over your sheets, and you gotta go put them in the, you know, you gotta put it in the washing machine after that, because, or, you know, me, or just roll over and just go back to sleep, because we ain't got time for that. You know what I mean? You got plenty of bed, but you make sure you clean it the next day. And yeah, there's like a huge pancake of you know, mess that you get out of this. But when we're talking about being able to utilize the sleep paralysis magic, that takes practice. It's something that I can, you know, speak to you more one-on-one if you get at me. I mean, because, you know, like I said, I'm kind of, you know, in a rambling state. I'm really just happy to be here talking to you guys. And, you know, this is kind of like, you know, where I'm at with what I'm going to be doing through future videos and whatnot. I'm just here to just spread love right now. And you know how I always go with this, man. I always share my matrix hack. No matter where you're at, just, you know, make sure that you know, if you hear somebody on the phone, you see somebody in traffic, you're at a grocery store, anytime somebody comes on your mind, just instead of thinking a good, bad, or neutral, anything other than good, you know, or just make sure you just intend on that person, that soul, to have a beautiful day, feel love in some kind of way, and you go along your day, and you just hacked the matrix. You just made the world a better place, and that's really what it all comes down to anyways. So even when you're in that, you know, like the astral realms or the dream states that we're talking about here to achieve, you know, your fantasy of, you know, mine is obviously just sucking my huge cock or having sex with whoever I want and like flooding their pussy out. Like you're able to get some, you know, very, it's a very amazing experience, a beautiful experience where you're, you know, and I intend on you guys to be able to achieve this, because it's something that makes the whole edging process a lot better. And, you know, when you have a good, strong penis exercise program to strengthen your sexual chi and make your huge, beautiful piece even bigger, I mean, that's just a win-win situation. That's a beautiful thing. And, you know, like I said, man, make sure you're doing the stuff to make you do a lot of this. Make sure you're smiling every day. And you know what? I didn't even get to say this, but even at this point in the video, every time you wake up, even if you didn't have a wet dream like I did last night, where your sheets are all messy, and, you know, you just, I'm telling you, you wake up with that pancake puddle of, you know, of love just all over your sheets, you're going to wake up feeling extra special. And even if you just wake up anyways, just, you know what the sound is, go ahead and just do what I do every single day. I wake up before my feet hit the ground. Just take this breath with me. I got a shot today. I feel beautiful, because gratitude is the attitude. You got to be thankful that you woke up today, because you got a shot of life. And that's a beautiful thing. And you know what? I was getting ready to, you know, it is a celebration right now. So you know what? I might as well just go ahead and crack myself a stone cold for you guys. You know, salute. It's a beautiful thing. And you know, like my traditional, you know, I usually get to the point in the video where I gotta just show you guys that energy can come out anywhere. Because I want you to understand that at any given time, you can grab a pump out of anything. You don't need the weights. You don't need anyone to tell you anything differently than what you know. And I understand that we grow. You say that I know, I grow. Whether you're at the gym, whether you're at home, whether you're just wherever you ever happen to be, that you just want to feel yourself swell up with the magic that you got within, and understand that the body is a manifester of muscle. You go ahead and you put this energy into you at any given time. I usually say my Paramahansa Yogananda line, where he says the mind is the wielder of muscle, and that is true. I mean, you know, it's the mind that's creating these beautiful muscles. About no matter what kind of weight you gotta lift or whatever you're doing at the gym, just make sure you're putting the energy into what you do, because that's what's really going to give you the body that you want. So you just got to make sure that you understand that you are the magic, and you feel that every single time. You can go ahead and shoot out some of my famous affirmations. I got hypnotizing rhymes that you can, you know, that eventually I'll be able to you know, get to you guys in my program, but I'm really utilizing them, and it's definitely giving me some results. So I understand that if you want to really get a nice pump in, you go ahead and you say that I am magic, I am divine, and the universe is on my side. And of course, you can say I'm so happy and grateful that my huge, beautiful muscles are growing bigger, harder, stronger, more defined, abundantly. And then for that huge piece of meat swinging at the knees, I'm so happy and grateful that my huge, beautiful penis is growing bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and harder, abundantly. And of course, when you gotta get one last rep out, you know the sound. Go ahead and say it with me. It feels so good. I am magic, I am divine, and I can increase my size. Oh yeah, let's flow, let's go, let's grow. Whew. I'm telling you, man, long hair flowing, naked in a chair, spirit knowing I'm doing something right, and I'm sweating here just off of that, man. That's a beautiful thing. And you know, I hope you guys got something out of this video, because I'm gonna be around anytime that I can. If you guys know me on my other platforms, you know, I'm glad that you guys found me here too, because I'm not sharing every part of me, but you know where you guys know where I'm at. I'm not sharing this on anything, just I know the ones that are gonna find this will. So make sure that you guys again follow me on my social media, and make sure you guys drop me a line in the email, and I will get back to you guys. I love you guys. I'm gonna do what I can to get as many of these videos out whenever it feels right. It always comes from the heart. What's inside of me is inside of you. Spread that love. Love you guys. Peace.